Can't call him Pandemic P or nothing like that anymore. Paul George stepped up tonight. PG-13 stepped up, handled his business. Without Kawhi Leonard, in a hostile environment like Utah, Paul George did his thing. Gotta give him love, gotta give him props. Donovan Mitchell ain't 100%, we can all see that. Utah ain't the same when he ain't 100%, we can all see that. And now it's up to the Clippers to close the deal and get to the conference finals for the first time in franchise history, assuming they handle their business Friday night. If you can handle your business in Game 5, you can handle your business in Game 6. But Paul George did his thing. I wish I could say the same.
Welcome to SportsCenter from our nation's capital. I'm Scott Van Pelt. An astounding second half. The Clippers come back from down 25. They make their first conference finals in the history of the franchise. Don't know if all those jokes and all those memes are put to bed tonight, but a whole lot of them had to have died with the comeback and the fight we just saw from that Clipper team against the 1 seed. A whole lot to get to. We'll get to three things on a one-of-a-kind game, including playoff games. The Utah Jazz were 94-1 under Quinn Snyder, when leading by 25 points at any point in the game. It's now 94-2 following what happened in that remarkable, furious fight in the second half from the Clips. Clippers got back into this mostly due to a barrage from behind the arc, an avalanche as they cash 14 threes in the second half, a franchise record for threes in any half in a playoff game. And it was Mann, and it was Beverly, and it was Jackson, and it was Batum. It was everyone on the floor. 5 of those triples came from Terrence Mann, the Florida State youngster who dropped 39 in just his second career playoff start. Comes after he had 25 points total in the first 5 games of this series. And Jeff Van Gundy, who's sitting there and watching this, I'm sure amazed as we all were. And Jeff, down 25 in the second half, just the tenor of this game, the way it's going, no one could have imagined what would have ensued. How do you best describe how it all went wrong for one team and right for the other?
Well, the volatility of the three-point shot, both when it is going for you, which had happened for the Clippers in the second half, and against you for Utah, I mean, that's the type of game. The leads don't mean quite as much as they once did, and I just was amazed that Terrence Mann over and over again, they found him, they put him in the right spots, he was in the corners, he wasn't trying to make the above-the-break three. He got layups, he got corner threes, he stuck with it, and Reggie Jackson was absolutely huge, getting timely buckets against the shot blocking of Rudy Gobert.
Without Kawhi, and we don't know officially, but we presume that it's an injury that could prevent him from playing perhaps for any more playoff games this year. Off what we just saw, what will this Clipper team allow itself to believe is possible now, Jeff?
Well, I would think they would expect to win. And
okay.
For Phoenix, you don't know what Chris Paul's situation is, so
right.
That would be a huge blow for Phoenix. So unfortunately, a lot of these playoffs have been marred by injury and protocols, but I think the Clippers are going to go in there with great confidence. And unlike what they did against Utah, where they had a chance to win that first game on the road, they didn't quite get it done. They've got to have the right mindset to bounce back and be ready for an early start of Game 1 on Sunday.
So for the Clippers, it's history, the first time ever to a conference final. They're also the first team, Jeff, ever to dig out of 2 consecutive 2-0 holes. They did against Dallas and now here against Utah. And there's a lot to celebrate on the Clipper side. If you put yourself in that Utah locker room right now, off of what just happened, how do you process what just evaporated?
It's obviously a blown opportunity to take it home for a Game 7. And obviously what I think the Clippers did the very best was they took Utah's greatest strength defensively in Rudy Gobert, and he made it into a minus, a negative on that end of the floor by spreading them out, driving, drawing him, and then finding Terrence Mann, Patrick Beverly, those guys, Nick Batum a couple times for wide open practice shot threes. I thought they did just a magnificent job in exposing Gobert's lack of ability to close to the three-point line.
Look, we could be working, for a living. I feel like we're stealing money doing what we get to do every night, but you never know, Jeff, when you're going to turn
Not me, Scott. Not me. I'm not stealing. What are these two clowns?
He's stealing, Scott.
I'm just saying tonight you could have paid for a ticket and it would have made sense. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't pay for a ticket because I'm cheap, but I'm glad I got to witness this game, because to see the ebb and flow of this game, the high level of skill, it was just really fun to watch. And I need my guy next to me to towel me off because I'm getting a little hot from the lights right now.
Do you ever stop working?
And Mark, if ever there was a night for Mama, there goes that man. This was it. So it was tailor made for you, my friend.
First quarter, I went right to it.
Go to it and go to it often. Gentlemen, appreciate your time. Meanwhile, we got a Hall of Famer, and he's getting squeezed out. You guys enjoy your night, and we appreciate the time.
Thanks, Scott.
Take care, Scott.
Thank you. All righty. Well, it was surreal to watch this thing unfold. We're here scripting out a Jazz win, Game 7. Look ahead. No, the highlights of this Clipper comeback. And the reason we were preparing for the Jazz sort of blowout win is because that's what was in progress. They're up 22 very early in the third. Donovan Mitchell. Bang! It's a 25-point lead. So, all right, I'm about to be 27 on the break. No, all right, Paul George gets a dunk. Journey of a million miles begins with a single step. All right, fine. George, Terrence Mann, Moonlight Graham. He hits the three. And, well, hey, look at here. Look at the Clippers trying hard. That's nice. Man, it's one on everyone. All right. Little life in the building. Jazz need to talk. Hey, fellas, let's tighten it up. Keep your poise. Well, 17-point lead, down to 14. Man, corner three. 4 to go in the third. Clippers down 15. Man again. Go ahead and pull. Now you start going, all right, it's a 12-point game. You never know. Can they get it to single digits before the end of the third? And they're like, the hell with that. Let's try to get the lead by the end of the third. Man. Again, corner three. Got to get that little bounce for rhythm. All three of these. And you start entertaining it. Could this happen? Now it's 5. Off the turnover. George is like, give it to me. No, he gets the miss. The rebound ends up in the corner to Jackson for the three. He hits it. It's a 2-point game. Finally, Royce O'Neal gets the slam to stop the run, but the Clippers keep their foot on the gas. Jackson probes the defense. Batum, pure. Patrick Beverly to give them the lead. Came out the mud from the corner. He hits it, and the Clippers now lead. They were down 25 in the second half. Again, corner three, Paul George. That's good. The Jazz trying to find some solid footing. Jackson, always in attack mode. Such a confident player, always has been. Now it's Batum from George. They're up 7. The Jazz came out and hit a couple of threes, and all of a sudden you think the 1 seed's going to get it together. But after George misses, what a play. Jackson, bounce pass down low to Mann. In rhythm, can't let Gobert get back there because he'll block it. Jackson asking for more. Let me hear it. And the home team giving him more to cheer for. Great ball movement again. Shoot it! Don't hesitate, young man. Man hits again from 3. Just an incredible performance. The guy scored 25 points in the playoffs. And now it's 39 tonight. Injected in my veins. More. But this Jazz team could come back. Patrick Beverly again from 3. Every single thing that could go right for the home team did, and Donovan Mitchell left to shake his hand in astonishment at how this 25-point lead and the season evaporates. They trailed by as many as 25 in the second half. In the past quarter century, by far the largest comeback in a series-clinching victory. Of course, this isn't just any series. It's the first time the Clippers, in the history of their franchise, has made it as far as the conference finals. So there's plenty to celebrate on the LA side, but for Utah and Quinn Snyder, you take a deep breath and try to figure out what just happened.
Well, I think the beginning of the third quarter, we started off turning the ball over, and that initially got them going. The 71% shooting is also 74% from three. We were trying to guard the ball and struggled to stay in front. And when Rudy would come over to protect the rim, initially we were getting back to man, and he started making shots. And we played zone, got in full rotations against them with man making shots, and everybody made shots. That's their 74% from three, which is an unusual number. That said, obviously there's things that we didn't execute on, beginning with being able to defend the ball up front. And, when guys are getting into the paint, they were also getting in. When Rudy was reluctant to come over, or we were late in our rotations, and they took advantage of it with the ball movement. And we had 5 guys out there that were making threes, and they were all making them. So, like I said, I think our inefficiency early on in the third quarter, turning the ball over. I don't know how many turnovers we had in the second half. It was they led to a lot of baskets, and then obviously in the half court, they spaced us and moved it and had us on our heels.
Joined now by Tim Legler. And Tim, these nights are always fun, but man, when you got something like this to try to sort out, and you hear Quinn Snyder just in astonishment talk about 75% shooting from 3.5. Look, we know that's not sustainable, but the Clips don't have to sustain it. They won because of it. How did this all go wrong for Utah, up 75-50, and they lose the game?
Yeah, look, you've heard a lot about it already from Jeff Van Gundy, Quinn Snyder there. They're hitting on the right things. I think what it comes down to is they used their natural instincts of Rudy Gobert as a rim protector against him. And I get it. You're going to leave him on the floor initially, Scott, but when he gets to the point that you are giving up this many uncontested threes to a team that clearly now is feeling it. And I don't care who Terrence Mann is prior to tonight or what you think he is if you're Quinn Snyder, he absolutely turned into something else in the third quarter. And now you have to really make a strong consideration to get Rudy Gobert off the floor. I just think that that's the answer. He's not hurting you at all on the other end. He's not giving you production offensively to justify how difficult it was for him to do his job on the other end of the floor. They had 5 3-point shooters on the court the entire half. At some point, after Terrence Mann, gets up to about 10, 12 points in that third quarter and he's pushing 30 for the game, I just think it's time where you say, you know what, I'm going to go with 5 perimeter players myself. And actually, by the way, one of those guys probably shouldn't have been Mike Conley either. He just didn't have it tonight. You've got Ingles on the bench. You've got Clarkson. Put those guys on the floor with Donovan Mitchell, Bogdanovich, and Royce O'Neal, and try to now match up with these guys the best you can and rotate to the 3-point line, because that's where the Clippers were determined to win the game. Now, the other thing, Scott, that Quinn said that was true, they had a terrible time keeping the ball in front of them. So even if you went with 5 guards, hey, maybe they're giving up layups at the rim because there's no shot blocker and guys are beating you off the dribble. But if I'm Quinn Snyder, at some point, I've got to at least try that adjustment, because Rudy Gobert has never looked more lost or confused on the defensive end of the floor than he was for an entire half. And you have to now go live with this, because these were practice shots. 74% is an absurd number, but these were naked looks for an entire half for the most part. At some point, you've got to try to match up better with the three-point shot, and they never did it.
Couple of things here, Tim. We'll go ahead and project that the Clips will not shoot 75% from three in the first, second, or any other half against Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals. And this is not me saying in any way, shape, or form they're better without Kawhi Leonard. They're not. He's one of the best players in the NBA. We understand that. But is there something that Ty Lue has found in these last two games, whether desperation or guys taking on more, as Mann did, that they can lean into in this Western Conference Finals and have confidence in?
Yeah, I do. And I think, look, Phoenix is going to be in a similar boat from this standpoint. You've got DeAndre Ayton. He's another guy that's going to be out on the floor, and you're going to be 5 perimeter players. He loves to go track guys to the rim as well. Now, the one difference, DeAndre Ayton is capable of giving you 16, 18, 20 on the offensive end of the floor. He's going to get some drop-offs. He can post up. So you can at least try to counter some of that. You know, Utah really wasn't able to do it. So I do think this lineup that they have found, where they're really not playing a big, and Nicholas Batum is probably the tallest guy in that group. And now you're going to add potentially at some point Kawhi Leonard to the mix. So now you've got 6, 7 guys that are all perimeter-based. And this is the style now going forward for them. They do a great job of getting into gaps and seams off the dribble, whether it's Paul George or Reggie Jackson in particular. And they're doing a great job right now of finding the right guy and moving it around the perimeter. And they took advantage of the fact that Utah only had 4 guys chasing 5 on the perimeter with 1 guy under the rim. That's not going to add up if you do the math on that. Right. Phoenix is going to find themselves in a similar boat. And I'm telling you right now, if they're watching that game tonight, and actually I was thinking about this, at some point they're probably thinking, well, I guess we're not playing on Sunday yet. And I wonder if any of those guys tuned out and didn't watch the second half and they got that text message, hey, guys, we got game 1 on Sunday. Just so you know, I would like to see the expression on some of those guys' faces when they find out now they were playing. Because I guarantee at halftime, at the beginning of the third quarter, they thought, no chance are we playing a game on Sunday. They've got to adjust to what they just watched. That's some